Hi everyone, this is Coach Giannis from Olympus Pro Performance Coaching. In today's video I'm going to show you a few exercises for mobility, flexibility and strength in order to keep your lower back in pretty good condition. We have already discussed in previous video 3 common reasons that can cause lower back pain, so if you haven't watched that yet, click on the link below to see basically a few of the reasons that can cause lower back pain, and then by see and start doing the exercise I will show you today, you can connect the dots and make sure that you keep yourself in a good condition. However, just before we start, just I want to explain to you that in case of suffering from any conditions in your lower back basically, just make sure that you get some advice from your physician and make sure that whatever I'm going to show you today is suitable for you. It's going to be quite simple, but again, not everything's for everybody. So just make sure that if you suffer from any conditions or anything specific that could actually harm and make your back worse, get some advice from your physician first. So we're going to start now by showing you some exercise for mobility and flexibility, and that's because we need to make sure that your lower back, your lower back and your lower body are quite relaxed, and also that your joints can move in a full range of movement, because most of the times the reason we have lower back pain after the riding or after a heavy workout is because the muscles are getting really stiff, really tight, and we need to relax them and make sure as well that they're coming back to the full range of movement again. Obviously there are more things as well that they can cause problem, like weak core, weak lower body, or wrong body position on the bike, or just really heavy training. But yeah, let's give it quite short, and let's go to show you some exercises now. So the first exercise we're going to do is going to be a lying hip rotation. So we're going to try basically to stretch lower back and the hip as well. So all you need to do is just lie down basically on the floor, and then from there place your hands down, lift your legs up, your knees up, and then from there nice and slow drop the one side and try to hold it there for minimum 20 seconds. And what you're going to do is make sure the opposite arm stays on the floor with the shoulder as well, as glued as possible. And then you start feeling basically a nice sensation, well, nice, let's say it's nice. A nice stretching basically across lower back, might feel a bit in your ribs and glutes, and then slowly come back and do the other side. Okay, that's the one. Once you finish with that, the next one you can do is go straight away in a nice flow with a single leg. So you lie down again, lift the one leg, keep the other one down, grab your leg and pull it across. This way you can actually increase even more the range, just by pulling more the leg. That's if you want to, just increase basically the pressure, let's say. Okay, and then you do obviously the other side as well, and that's it. Now the next one after that will be a hip specific stretch. There are a couple of ways to do it. The easiest way, if you're not very mobile, is basically lying down again. Okay, cross the leg. Once you cross the leg, let's say if we cross the left leg, we want to push with the left arm, the left knee away from us, and then with the right arm, we're going to pull the ankle towards us, okay, towards our face. So we push and pull basically, right? So once you do that, make sure your head's down, and then you lift your right knee up and try to bring it as close to you as possible, while at the same time you continue pushing your knee away and pulling the ankle towards you. Okay, and that straight away will give you quite a burning sensation on your actual hip. Okay, that's one of the best stretches I believe you can do to release the tension on your glutes, which basically is one of the main reasons we have lower back pain. That's one way. The other way you can do that is by doing the pigeon stretch. The pigeon stretch is a bit more advanced. If you're a bit more mobile, you can do that. So the pigeon stretch, you can get it like on press up position, then cross the leg up, and then drop the other one behind you. And then from there, trying to keep a nice flat back, lean it forward, and you start basically feeling a stretch across the glutes again. Okay, that's one a bit more advanced, but it's very effective. If you can't do that way, you can actually do exactly the same thing by using a bench, or a box, or a chair. So it's exactly the same thing, you just apply it basically on a higher surface, and that's quite easier, but still demands a bit good mobility between the hip and the knee. Okay, so that's another way to do it. Now the next one I'm going to do is going to be for the hip flexors. So although the hip flexors, basically it's from the front side, a lot of time actually you can have lower back pain, and that's because you have tight hip flexors. So the way you can actually stretch your hip flexors is literally in this position that I'm now, okay? And then from there, you want to keep your trunk upright, so you don't want to lean forward, all right? But then what you want to do is drive the hips forward, okay? So if you drive the hips forward, you will start feeling basically a tension right on the top of your pelvis, all the way down to your quads, okay? And then just drive it that way. And you hold again about 20 seconds. And back again, and then you do the other side. Exactly the same thing. Drive there. Okay. So I'll show you the side as well. Same thing. Now, I'm going to show you a stretch as well for the hamstrings. And I'm going to show you two ways to do it. One of the easiest ways to do it is literally as you're standing there. If you want to stretch, let's say, the left side of hamstrings, just put the left leg basically up, point your toes up, and then from there, slightly bend the right leg, reach down and trying to reach your toes. And as you're doing that, you will start feeling it again, a burning sensation from your hamstring all the way down to your calf. And just hold there again a minimum 20 seconds. And that's it really. And then the next one, if you want to go again a bit more advanced, a bit different, the outcome is pretty much the same though, is that way. So you basically flex the one leg, that position, keep the other one locked, and then from there trying to reach your toes. If you want to increase the tension, if you want to increase basically the range and trying to go a bit more advanced, try to reach with the opposite arm, okay? And that becomes a bit harder. And then if you want to do both, and at the end, the last step is actually trying to grab your foot from underneath. Again, we don't do all these things to become better on the exercise. We're trying to relax the muscles, increase the range of movement, and make sure basically that we're not going to get any injuries just because we're getting stiffer and tighter. Now for the lower back and the upper back generally, one of the easiest and good exercise you can do is the cat-cow if you haven't done it before. It's very easy, all you need to do is just get on your knees, place your hands down, and then from there what you want to do in a nice slow motion, you want basically to tilt your pelvis in, and as you tilt the pelvis in, slowly the whole back, your whole spine will start basically curving. And what you want to do at the end to curve completely your spine and look more like an angry cat basically. And how do you do that? You're there, and then slowly tilt the pelvis in, and as you tilt the pelvis in, start stretching your back upwards, push with your hands down the floor, breathing out, and slowly start tilting the pelvis up, and slowly driving your chest downwards until you start arching completely your back to a cow position. Then again, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, you're going to do this basically again for at least 10 reps. Okay, you're going to be really slow as you do it. Now I'm going to use a foam roller in order to relax a bit more the muscles. During the time that you're going to do it, it's not going to be very relaxing, but definitely you're going to start feeling better once you've been doing the foam rolling. If you have never seen a foam roller, it looks like this. You can get it basically in different sizes. I would say a small one is better because it's quite mobile as well. You can get it everywhere with you, in the truck, if you're out for a racing weekend, holiday. And it only costs about 20 quid, dollars, euro, pounds, whatever you are. So what a foam roller does is basically like a self-massage. So what I'm going to do now with you, I'm going to show you how to foam roll your thoracic spine, your thoracic back basically, which is basically the middle of your back and also the lower body. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually lying down, place the foam roller in the middle of your back. Then lying down with the foam roller. Then from there, what you're going to do, lift your hips up. Make sure you're quite relaxed. If you're tensed, it's not going to work. It's only going to hurt you. So trying to relax and embrace it. And then from there, breathe in, breathe out, and start using your legs to move upwards and up and down actually in the foam roller. Okay? And then from there, if you start moving your arms in different directions, you will start making basically space so the foam roller can get a bit deeper in the muscles. Okay? If you want to get really deep up there on your upper back, you can actually hug yourself, and that way you're making space by moving the scapula a bit more out of the way, and then you can move again in the middle of your back. Now, if you want to foam roll your lower back, that's absolutely fine. However, make sure that you're quite gentle and that you can control basically your body weight on it, because lower back is quite sensitive. So if you actually put too much body weight in your lower back with the foam roller on it, then you might actually hurt a bit more your back. So make sure that you're quite gentle. You can do it, but yeah, be quite cautious about it. So the next thing we're going to do now is going to actually show you how to foam roll your glutes. So in order to foam roll basically your glutes, you're going to sit on the foam roller, okay? And then you want to remember like three things. If you're going to do the left side, you're going to go on the left side, left arm down, left glute down, and cross the left leg. Okay? You hold the leg with your opposite arm, and then with your left arm and the right leg, you start basically rolling up and down. And you want to be relaxed there, so you can actually allow the foam roller to do the job. If you're quite tight because it quite hurts, which is normal if it hurts a bit, that's because you're probably stiff and tight, then you're not going to let basically do the job properly. Once you finish, you're going to turn to the other side. It's exactly the same thing. Right arm down, cross the right leg, and then hold again and foam roll. Okay? And that's how you foam roll in your glutes. Alright, so once you finish with your glutes, the next thing now is going to be your hamstrings and calves. So on the hamstring calves, you sit down, place the foam roller underneath your hamstring, and then what you do from there, put your hands down, use the other leg and your hands to elevate basically your glutes, and then from there you just roll again upwards and back, up and down, excuse me. Okay? Quite relaxed. Now for a lot of people, they might not feel a lot of tension on it. That's absolutely fine. Like if you feel like you really want to get into the hamstrings, what you can do, you can cross the leg. So you cross basically over, and then you put more body weight on it, and it becomes a bit more kind of painful, and that's because you're getting a bit deeper. Okay? Again, foam rolling is quite slow. We're not moving too fast. Now, if you find at any point, if you find any knots, anything that it's quite stiff and quite stubborn and it doesn't relax easily, stop there and just do a small movement until basically you feel a bit better, and then just move to the next one. The next thing is going to be the calves. How are we doing with the calf? Again, like on the hamstring, just place the foam roller on your calf, and then from there, you need to get yourself up. You start basically foam rolling on the calf. Now if you're going to foam roll to be on the side, all you need to do, as you foam roll it, start basically moving your leg left and right. You start to be more side basically. And that's it. So the last one I'm going to show you, it's going to be for the quads, alright? Probably perhaps one of the most painful. So I'm going to go from the quads all the way up pretty much across to your hip flexors, down again. On the quads, what we want to do while foam rolling is make sure you just stop basically about 2 inches above your knee joint. Okay, you don't want to roll the knee obviously. So, how do we do now that? It's quite easy. In order to do that, what you want is basically place the foam roller down, then from there place your quads right in the middle of the quads basically on the foam roller. So I'll show you this way as well. Okay, and then from there, just going to show you now the other leg so you can actually see what's happening with the other leg. So from there, get like in a plank position, and then the other leg is on the side. And all you do is just roll. Okay? So you basically control the rolling with your arms and the elbow. Okay? So you're doing basically, because the quads are the biggest muscles of your body, first I would say you can do like a middle to low, and then you can do middle to high side of the quad. So you get from the other side. First of all, I said I'm going to move middle to low, and then once I finish that, I'm going middle to high. Okay? Make sure you leave the quad quite relaxed. If not, it becomes more painful. And that's how you do it. Again, in foam rolling, there's no like specific time you can do that. Obviously, if you do it for a very, very short period of time, it's not going to work, it's not going to be effective. I would say foam rolling, basically do it for as long as you need it, okay? Until you're a little bit more relaxed. It's not going to harm you. Now, if you are stiff because you injure yourself, so let's say if you have a bruise on the quads because you crashed basically the previous day, and trying to foam roll the bruise spot, that would be a very bad idea because you're just going to inflame it further. When we bruise, we create like a hematoma basically on that spot. So by basically foam roll that spot is like you trying to scratch an open wood. That's exactly what it is. So if you have a bruise is basically on the muscle that you want to roll, don't roll the muscle. It would be basically better to let the bruise to calm down, and then once basically relaxing, you're not being in pain anymore there, then start basically rolling to relax the muscle, because definitely the muscle after the injury will be more stiff. That's because of the trauma of the shock basically that is caused to the muscle due to the crash. So yeah, foam rolling is good for relaxing, but we're not using it when we have bruised muscle. Alright, so now the next thing I'm going to do is going to be about the strength. So what we're going to do, we want to basically strengthen the posterior chain, okay? If you have a nice strong posterior chain, and as we said before, a nice relax as well from the good maintenance work like foam rolling and stretching, then you definitely reduce the risk basically of having problems with your lower back. So as you probably see already, one of the best exercises you can do to strengthen basically your lower back and generally your posterior chain is actually a hex bar deadlift or trapper deadlift. Or if you don't have a trapper deadlift, you can do actually a normal conventional deadlift with a barbell. Okay? In our case, we're going to use a trapper deadlift because as I said in previous videos, I believe that is actually one of the easiest and safest way to learn if you don't know how to do a deadlift, and it goes basically more gains than problems, again just because it's easier. So how do we do a deadlift, a hex bar deadlift? Step inside the bar and then what you're going to do, just make sure, I'm just going to show you on the side, what you're going to make sure is basically that you have feet hip width, then you grab the bar. Regarding which grip you can use, if you're going to use the lower grip or the higher grip, that it depends basically also of your actual range and the actual reach. So I'm like 5'7" basically, so I'm not really tall. So for me, grabbing basically the higher grips, it's quite easier, quite better for me. What you're gonna do is you grab the bar, make sure you have a nice upright position of your trunk, so you don't want to be rounded. Nice upright position. Grab the grips from the middle, and then engage your abs, push through the heels, and lift the bar up. Okay? I see very often people basically arching that much when they're doing that. That's so wrong, really, because you're arching your pack. You don't need to go there because you pass basically the range. So what you're going to do is push through the heels, engage your abs, lift the bar, and stop in a nice neutral position. When you're there, you want to be nice and engaged, basically. So abs are engaged, glutes are engaged, and you're nice and active. Then slowly lower down. Neck is not there, neck is nice and neutral. Drive down. Okay? How many reps and sets? That all depends on your program. So I would say, for now, if you're gonna put it in the program, if you're gonna do basically all the exercise together, which I will show you today, and you've never done this before, or you don't have a specific program, just do basically 3 by 10. So 3 sets, 10 reps, and then after every set you want to have about 60 seconds rest. Okay, so enough basically for that. You can't go really heavy. It depends again your strength and your experience. I don't really like to give you sets and reps unless if I know who you are and I know basically your training history and your experience generally. But yeah, if you do 3 by 10 just to see how it feels and put it in the program, that's fine. But I don't want to be very specific on that one because I'm not your coach. Right. Okay. So we saw how to do a trapper deadlift. The next thing we're gonna do now, it's gonna be a glute bridge. Glute bridge is great for hamstrings, although they call it glute bridge. It's actually for the hamstrings. That's why we contract mainly. However, it does actually affect directly the glutes as well, obviously. So how do we do that now? The easiest way, if you've never done this before, is just on the floor. So you lie down, put your hands there if you want more balance, or your chest, it's up to you. And then point your toes up, so your heels down only. And then push the heels and vertically down and drag your hips upwards. So breathe in, breathe out, and push through. Now, if you push through properly there, you will start feeling basically the hamstring contracting really actively. And then at the same time, if you engage your glutes, you'll feel how your glutes basically contracting too. And then slowly calm down. Again, breathe in, breathe out, and down again. You're gonna hold about a full second on the top and then go down. Okay? You really want to have always bit time under tension, so you can actually allow your body to register and understand what you're doing and understand the information that you're giving to you. Now, if you want to progress it, you can actually do it on a step or higher on a bench, and then you increase basically the range of movement. And you increase the range, increase the contraction too. So, again, on the step, push there, and drive up. Now, a lot of people asked me in the past, why you don't actually step with your whole foot? Well, it's quite awkward, first of all. And second, personally, I found out that if you do it on your heels, you actually have a better feedback from your hamstrings. So that's why I'm doing it that way. But it's your call if you want to do it differently. Push through, slow down. Okay, and then after that, if you go even more advanced and focus on one hamstring, same thing, but single leg. So you're there. Okay, if you do the other leg, so you can see the side as well. Now the last exercise you can do, which is specifically again for the glutes and your lower back, obviously, has an effect. is actually a side plank with abduction. Now, the side plank with abduction basically, it's like a clam, really, like a clamshell. So you're lying down on your side, make sure you're nice and upright, you don't want to lean forward or backwards, so absolutely straight. And then from there, what you're going to do, you're going to lift your hips up, so you're nice, basically kind of plank position. And then from there, you're lifting the one leg up, okay? And then slowly bring it down. Up, open the leg, down again. Now what happens, why we're doing that, because we're pushing the knee down. We don't actually drive the knee through the knee, we drive the knee through the hip. So imagine you're trying to push the ground down, okay, vertically, and as you're driving the hips up, you create this counteraction, you start engaging massively the glute, okay? Up, so down, you're going to hold it in about a second on the top. Okay, again on that one you can do about 3 by 10 each side. It's a good ratio. Again, just to, to avoid the lower back pain, or just to keep your lower back in good condition. So now for the exercise for the upper back, basically that we can do, to help the upper back, is a very similar easy exercise that you can do basically with a suspension band, which is basically an inverted row. How do you do that? Easily, just grab basically the bands, and then from there, nice and straight arms, walk back, and then from there as you're hanging, you walk forward, chest out, then the grip basically be in supine position, so basically you keep your palms downwards, and then from there all you do, without swinging, is actually drive the elbows back and trying to punch somebody with your elbow, chest out, and then slowly bring down again. When you're there, you don't want to relax, you want to stay absolutely engaged for the whole set, and then up again. And again, you can do this about 10 reps with 60 seconds reps between. Okay, now if you want to go basically a little more advanced, you can literally just going to walk further down, and the lower you go, the more body weight you need to lift. Once you finish, walk backwards, and that was basically a couple of exercises, as I said, for how to avoid lower back pain, or if you already have lower back pain, how to make your back be better. As I mentioned before on that video, just make sure that if you have any chronic condition, if you have any actual problem with your lower back that comes from something else, get advice from the physician first. Make sure that whatever I show you in the video is for you, and then do it. Because if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what's happening with your back, then you can create more harm than good. So that's just make sure that you know that we're doing the right thing for you. Now, if you like what you watched, make sure that you click the like and share with your fellow riders as well. And don't forget to subscribe as well on our channel. We're brand new on the channel, so trying to create a good community. If you have any suggestions that you want to see next, please leave it in the comment, in order to help us, to give you some good content out there and make you more educated. Obviously follow us as well on our website, which is olympuspro.co.uk, on Instagram olympuspro, and Facebook olympuspro performance. If you haven't watched the previous video, which is basically 3 reasons that cause lower back pain, watch that, because that can give you a good idea, as I said, of what could cause, and then you can connect the dots. And don't forget to watch as well the 3 big move series, which is basically the bench press, deadlift, and the squat, and that will give you a good idea of how you can actually do different variations that can again help you to choose wisely what exercise you will implement in your program. As I said, it's not just the best of the worst exercises. Every exercise has its place and time, so that's it. That's the main point. that's it anyway. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.